Meet Teddy. Teddy is a pilot, spending his life doing aerobatic plane for sports, but Teddy is having trouble communicating with air traffic control. Since Teddy is a foreigner, his English is not very good and haven't learned any of the vocabulary used for communicating with air traffic control. Surely in this case, Teddy needs to learn ESP. So what is ESP? And why does Teddy needs it? Well, to answer to that question, we'll be looking deep into a language assessment called English for Specific Purpose. ESP, or English for Specific Purpose, is a type of language instruction in which all content and method decisions are based on the learner's reasons for learning. This means that the content and technique of teaching English are adapted to the specific goals for which learners must use the language, such as academic, professional, and workplace settings. Tom Hutchinson and Alan Waters are credited with establishing ESP as a method to language education based on the needs and interests of the learners. Then how is it important for Teddy? Well, first things first, ESP is important because it developed the English language skills needed for a specific field. So that means Teddy needs to learn aviation English, or English for pilots we could say. This will help Teddy to understand and use the language skills he needs for his fields. But then, are there any other type of ESP learners for the specific needs? As a matter of fact, yes. There are numbers of different type of ESP course. Depends on the needs by the learners. These common English types are English for academic purpose, English for business commerce, English for specific profession, English for tourism and hospitality, English for science and technology, and English for aviation. We see now that Teddy needs to take the English for aviation type of ESP, but what benefits he can get after taking the course? Well, that depends on what Teddy's learning needs for his job as an aerobatic pilot, but there are 4 common benefits that learners can get after taking an ESP course in their field, such as improved language skills, increased job opportunities, enhanced academic success, and better communication. But doesn't that mean Teddy can achieve it with any English learning in general? Because when Teddy needs to have an increased aviary vocabulary and better communication, he just needs to go to an English-speaking club, right? Well, not exactly. Sure, you may notice that these common benefits can be acquired through learning English in general, but as the level of English proficiency in jobs and specific needs can be quite different. There are actually differences between ESP and English General Learning, or we could say EG. For example, ESP is suited to learners' unique needs and interests, but General English doesn't need to. ESP courses are developed to fulfill the learner's specific needs and focus on the context of the learner's actual needs and desire in a specific sector of human action, whereas General English courses do not. ESP courses are most usually used with adult learners, while they could be used with young adults in a secondary school context, whereas General English School are not restricted to any single age group. So, in conclusion, ESP is an important course that provides learners with the language skills they needed to succeed in a particular field of study or profession. By developing the language skills that the learners needs, learners will become more confident and proficient in using English. This means that the learners can open up to new job opportunities and career advancement. Now, Teddy can finally communicate with the air traffic control without having any problem with aerial vocabulary and language skills. We are from Group 4 and see you later.